Hey YouTube, it's your girl Naya, and I am back again with another word straight from the Lord. Guys, I was not even planning to make another video this soon. Y'all already know when God be having me do videos, especially lately, he's been having me record and then I be MIA. But this word just came to me like out of nowhere, y'all. Like, I was literally, today's been a long day for one. Like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Which I know many of y'all can relate, but like honestly, I'm tired. My back is hurting. Like, I'm maxed out. Like, my back is my back is hurting all the way. Like, I was not planning to record nothing. I wasn't planning to do anything. It's just been nonstop movement and transitioning this, and it's only Monday. I was just gonna say this week, but it's only Monday. The week has barely even started, but Abba was like that this word is for somebody very specific, and I feel like he's had me put out words like this in the last couple of months, but I feel like this word is for somebody specifically. Like, and I don't know what the title of this video is going to be just yet, so I have to sit with him more, but I feel like for who this word is for, God is telling you that you need to leave. Like, it's clear as day. He's been showing you the signs. He's been giving you confirmations. You feel uncomfortable where you are, and God is saying that he's told you this. He's instructed you to leave, to go, to move, to go to the next place, whether that's just in a different city, whether that's just a different environment, whether that's a safer environment, whatever he's told you, you know in your spirit that you need to go, and you've been too comfortable where you are. And I feel like you're uncomfortable where you are, but at the same time, you're trying to rely on your humanly logic when God is saying that greater is he that is inside of you. Like, you're not going to understand the bigger picture until you start to move. You're not going to understand the way that he's already paid for you until you get to walking, until your feet get to moving, until you take the first step of obedience. Because delayed obedience is still disobedience. And I feel like the Father is telling you that you don't have to worry about the provision. You don't have to worry about the people that he's lined up. You don't even have to worry about the space that he's prepared for you, because he already has prepared that way for you. All you need to do is to act in obedience and get your things and go. And let me tell you how God gave me this word. So what happened was yesterday evening, God had me release a word. And y'all, it's been so much happening. I don't even remember what the word was titled. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't really even remember what the word was titled, but I do know that he had me release a word yesterday. And it was something that, I know it was a kingdom marriage word. But the fact of the matter is, God had told me not to extend my stay at the hotel that I was in yesterday. And I was like, okay. He said to wait into the morning. So what I did was I waited till the morning because I didn't have the provision last night. And somebody had sowed a seed just enough for me to extend my stay this morning. So what I did was I went downstairs, extended my stay, but during this moment when I extended my stay, I had like, I'm not even gonna really call it warfare. I'm gonna just call it a test, because, excuse me, in this season, as I told y'all before in the previous video, God has had me in a season where he's been testing me and testing my authority. He's been teaching me to walk in grace, but also know the standard that he set for me in this season. You know what I'm saying? Like, walking in boldness, walking in authority, walking in my true identity, walking in Proverbs 31 season now. Like, you know what I mean? We've matured. And another thing, so this leads me to what I'm about to say. When I went downstairs to extend my stay at my hotel, the lady kind of gave me a little bit of an attitude. And I don't really have this happen too often, but she just kind of, I didn't like her spirit. Like, when I told her that I wanted to extend my stay, like, first of all, she didn't even tell me good morning. The other lady told me good morning. The other lady was super cool, but this specific lady that I went to, like, her little area or whatever to help me, she was basically like, so we're gonna need your ID. And I was like, okay, any other time, you know, since I've been here, nobody has asked me for my ID except for when I, you know, initially checked in. And basically what happened was she just kept saying like, well, this is just policy, da 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 da. Like, the way that she was saying it, it wasn't what she was saying, because obviously I know that's like hotel policy. This is not my first hotel, like, you know what I'm saying? It's okay that y'all need my ID, but it's just the way that you saying it. It's the way that you speaking to me, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, y'all, my phone is going dead. But it was the way that she was speaking to me, and it's the way that her attitude was towards me specifically. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like that. So I told her, I said, okay, it's no problem for me to go get my ID. But at the same time, like, in my heart, I know that you're not going to speak to me any kind of way. You can speak to me in a respectful tone, just like I'm speaking to you in a respectful tone. So I went upstairs, told them I'm going to come back and get my ID. That's cool. But I did let her know that this is the first time that somebody has actually asked for my ID since I've been here. So y'all need to get that together. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously I know that that's policy. But anyways, I go upstairs to get my ID, y'all. And as I come back down, the lady is like gone. Like, she just vanished. And there's the other lady down there, which she helped me. She was cool, da-da-da. Did my room situation. And y'all, I had went upstairs to eat breakfast. And I ended up taking a nap. This is where it gets crazy. Because I ended up taking a nap. It was around like 9 o'clock, maybe. Yeah, it was like 9 o'clock. I ended up going to sleep and woke back up around like, I want to say like 11:50. So when I had woke up after I ate, I kept on hearing sounds. And first off and foremost, I was smelling something. It smelled like sewer water. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it smelled like sewer water. And when I had got up, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. So I forgot that I had left that food sitting on the desk. So I went to go throw the food away. I come back and I still smell it. So I sprayed some room spray, and all of a sudden, okay, at 6:33, okay, that was odd. So today has been crazy, y'all. I promise y'all, it's just been like a lot. This is why God had to have me come on here, because I feel like it was for somebody. This is why I gotta get this out. I gotta get it out, no matter the distractions, in the name of Jesus. So a few minutes after I sprayed the room, I laid back down for like about 15 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm about to leave. Somebody sold $5.56 into the ministry. And so I was like, okay, that's intentional. So I look up 556, and 556 literally means to remove, to cast off, or something like that. Like, basically, God, I knew that God was removing me, like, by force type thing. Like, it was like a right now, like he's about to take me out of this hotel, even after I booked another night type thing. So all of a sudden, y'all, the power goes out in the whole hotel. Like, I promise y'all, God was so like, you're leaving right now. The power goes out. Everything, like, I can't turn on the lights. I can't call the receptionist, because I had just called the receptionist to ask for more towels. I was just chilling. And y'all, I couldn't call nobody. First of all and foremost, the firefighter truck literally came to my hotel. There was firefighters in the hotel. The elevators weren't working. Nothing was working. So I go downstairs because I'm like not trying to panic, but also I need to see what's going on, because I don't know if it's a fire or something in the hotel. Like, this could be a safety precaution or, you know, a fire hazard. So I'm like, try not to panic. I grab my essential items like my wallet, my purse, my charger, my phone, my water bottle, and I head downstairs. I wasn't even dressed, y'all. I had on a robe. Wasn't even dressed. So I go downstairs and I see the manager. He's on the phone trying to figure out what's going on. And he gets off the phone. He comes straight to me. And I don't even know how he just came straight to me, because he was like, hey, how are you? Da-da-da-da. And he's like, what did he say? He was like, he was basically just asking me like how I was feeling or something. I don't even remember what he asked. But basically, I had to ask him some questions. He asked me some questions, and he asked me what was my room number. And I basically told him, and he already knew that I had extended my stay that morning. And I was like, basically asking him what was going on and if there was a fire hazard. He said that there was no fire. They just couldn't understand they couldn't understand why the power had went out in my hotel and what was going on. And they had basically told me that it was a power outage in the whole entire area. So that alone let me know that God was sending me to a whole entirely new area, an entirely new everything. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't want me to stay in that area, because I could have easily went to a different hotel in that area and been like, okay, well, I'm just leave here and go to the next hotel next door type thing. But God was making it pretty clear in that conversation with that guy that he was sending me to a whole entirely new area. So what had happened was, he told me that he didn't know when the power was going to be back on or what was going on. So he said that he was going to give me a full refund for the amount that I spent earlier. But see, here's the problem with that. Not a problem, but it was just God being strategic, because even the money that I spent earlier on that hotel extending my stay, I can't even get back until probably early next week, because you know what hotel, y'all already know. For y'all who know, there's no need for me to explain it, because that's not the moral of the story. That ain't even the word. I'm just basically testifying basically what happened and how God gave me this word. So, after all that said and done, I got my towels, go upstairs, take my shower, hurry up and get dressed so that I can leave. Because at this point, I'm just ready to go. Y'all, I thought that, it was going to be like this little quick process or whatever. They gave me a flashlight. And it's crazy because I have the flashlight. The flashlight literally says ever ready. So I automatically knew that this was like God saying, it's go time. Like, it's go time. And this is part of the instruction for somebody, because even like him telling me, he was like, well, he even mentioned to me, he was like, well, you could just stay, and because the power was out in all the hotels over here anyways. And I was like, nah, I was gonna leave because I already knew tomorrow I was gonna leave anyways. But it's just the fact that God sent me out a day earlier than I thought I was going to be leaving type thing. And that was the first person who said that I should stay. Now, the second time, I was fully dressed, checked out. Everything was Gucci. I sat at a table to look at my Bible to get revelation. I was looking at hotels, trying to figure out where God was sending me next. And, I was getting revelation, but it also was like, I still don't know where I'm going. All the hotels in the area, the prices wasn't lining up with the budget. The prices wasn't lining up. So I automatically remembered that conversation that I had. I knew that God was sending me to a whole completely new area. So what had happened was this lady sees me, and she had already complimented my outfit and everything. So she was really cool, really nice woman. We ended up having a whole conversation about realtor stuff. She's a realtor. I told her about this. We had a pretty good conversation. But the moral of the story was, even in that moment, she even had mentioned to me that I might as well stay. And then in my mind, like, I was like, that's a test, because I know that God already told me to leave. I already knew that God was sending me off. It was just a matter of time of me being patient. And I even told both of them that. Like, I was like, no, I'm just sitting and I'm waiting on the next steps. You know what I'm saying? They even asked me if I was okay, if I needed a ride. I told them no, because I knew in my heart that this season is sacred. And I know that God is intentional and he's strategic, and there's obviously a reason that he took me out of there. Even the encounter that I had at the desk, which is why he led me to put out this word, because even as I sat there, y'all, a seed had came through for me to even be able to get the next room, which is why I'm telling y'all, when you come into agreement with what God is telling you to do, he's going to make sure that the vision is funded. It don't matter if it's an hour by hour. It don't matter if it's a day by day. It doesn't even matter if it's a stay here for one night type of thing. Even if you're tired, beloved, God is telling you that where you are right now, you cannot be afraid to make a step. And here's the thing, for the person who his word is for, this is not the first time that God has told you to leave. As I was sitting there, I already knew that I was leaving. I already knew that it was time to go. Like, God was showing me numbers that literally meant to begin, to go, to leave. And I'm in my mind like, okay, God, like, I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, okay, like, I know that I can't go here because that's not going to make sense. And it's causing me to be confused. And God is not a God of confusion. So you have to know God's character also. And as I was sitting there, I knew that I had to be patient. God has already put me through a test like this before, where I sat for 8 hours waiting on revelation from God. And that's just sometimes the reality of things. You can't rush. You can't rush. But at the same time, I knew that this time wasn't going to take a long time for me to come to that revelation of instruction and direction. Because as I was sitting there, I was opening my Bible, I was in my word, I was in worship, I was playing my worship music, and I was in the right posture for God to speak and for God to move. And even when I did finally find the hotel that was him leading me to, it was in a completely new area. I wasn't even planning to go this far. But God was like, y'all see that sun beaming? That's how you know it's Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is in the room. That's how you know that God is leading and God is orchestrating, and God says, be patient, beloved. Sometimes things are not going to come rushing in. Sometimes provision isn't going to be rushing in to your bank account. Sometimes God just needs to remind you to trust him, to lean fully on him and not your own understanding. And as I was sitting there, God kept showing me the word, like, you will not lack. He even was showing me the word provisions. He was even showing me He's been showing me 12:22, and every time I see 12:22, it reminds me of Luke 12:22. Like, provision is going to come. The things you need to be sustained, the things you need to survive, God is going to make sure that you have, and you're not lacking anything. And as I was sitting there, he led me to Psalm 23. I already know this by heart, y'all. Like, Psalm 23 is your message to let you know that this season, beloved, everything is provided for. You will have peace. You will have provision. You will have everything. You don't have to worry about your next. You don't have to worry about where you're going. All you need to do is get in the right posture. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be fearful. But you not moving when God's telling you to move is disobedience. It's disobedience. And you don't have to be afraid. That's the thing. God sees you. He protects you. And he loves you. He's your father. Like, he already knows what's ahead of you. The next door. Thank you, Father. As I was walking back to my hotel, before he gave me this word, he showed me 444 and he showed me 1555, which I knew that 444, every time I see that, it's open doors. You know what I'm saying? The next door that's opening is your opening. And God is strategic about time, so you have to make sure that you moving when he say move, because there's a door that's opening and it's only going to be open for so long. And this is the thing. You can't expect God to move. You can't expect for him to provide in a capacity that you need to be sustained unless you moving and unless you operating in the right heart posture. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you doing what you need to do as far as purpose, if you're in an environment that you shouldn't be in, God is not going to provide there. And I know that myself. Anytime that I've been in a hotel for too long, provision dries up. Anytime that I've been in a place where he's like, okay, now it's time to go, provision is drying up. And it's on purpose. It's not to be a punishment for you. It's not to be a thing where God is saying, I'm not providing for you, I'm not protecting you. It's just that he needs us to be in the right mind frame to know that, okay, this isn't the same feeling I'm getting when I first got here. This is not feeding me. It is no longer sustainable, and it's no longer comfortable, and I'm no longer hearing what I need to hear from the Lord. So I need to move in environments. Sometimes, y'all, the environments is everything. Like, when I tell y'all, even just earlier, all that chaos, like, it was just a lot of chaos, but it also was like God was giving me peace about the leaving. He was giving me peace about the transition. He was giving me peace about where I was headed to next. Will give me clarity. Like, when I got here, y'all, I was able to rest. When I tell y'all I haven't rested all day, like, I've been trying to get rest in. And it's like God been putting me to sleep on purpose. He's been knocking me out, literally, so that I can get rest. And even just, it was just so much happening. Like, the lights going out, and then, you know, me trying not to panic because I didn't know if it was a fire in the building. It was just a lot. Like, my back is hurting. Y'all carrying luggage and moving rooms, moving hotels, having to get Ubers and stuff. It's a lot, but God says for who this word is for, it may look like it's a lot and it may look scary, but he's going to keep you. He's going to protect you, and he's going to guide you. Like, you're not the only person on this journey. You're not the only person that God is giving this instruction to. But for who this word is for, where you are, you can't grow there. And he's had me put out multiple words like this in the past. But I feel like for who this word is for, you're still not moving. And God says he can't release your blessing. He can't release your next. He can't even release your promise until you are in the right place at the right time. And beloved, you're not in the right place. God says you need to go. You got to leave. I don't know if this means a home. I don't know if this is a job, because some of y'all are afraid to leave jobs. Some of y'all are still afraid to leave family. Some of y'all are still afraid to let go of the car that he been told you to let go of. This is the problem, because it's holding you up from moving into the next. It's holding you up from receiving the promise that he has for you. And yeah, it may look crazy. I'll have to get rid of things too. I had to let go of things in storage. I had to let go of a lot of things, people. But God says, will you love me more than that thing? Will you love me more than your own family, your own blood relatives? Will you love me? Will you put me first before your car, before your job, before your marriage, before everything? God is testing your heart posture. And he's saying that you still ain't moving. So you got to be obedient, beloved. He's telling you, He has so much for you, but he needs you to move. You gotta, when you move, he moves. When you obey, he orchestrates. I'm telling you, it's a faith thing and it's an obedience thing. He loves obedience. God loves obedience, and he needs you to move when he says go. Not a second later, not a second before. And he's going to make sure that you get to where you need to go on time, okay? I'm trying to see if there's anything else. For who this word is for, I feel like God is telling you to also stay in the heart of worship. I don't know if that's an area that you struggle in. I don't know if that's an area where sometimes it's hard for you to hear him clearly. Sometimes it's hard for you to receive the direction and the revelation that you need from him in the midst of a situation where you need clarity, in the midst of even just sitting and waiting. Sometimes the environment can even block out you hearing God clearly. Sometimes the people that you have around you can block you out from hearing him clearly. And also, you got to remember that when you are receiving such a sacred promise, when you are receiving sacred revelation, sensitive things like this, even just being in a certain hotel, God can't release those type of things because of the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? It's not safe. It's not safe. And it's no longer sustainable. You know? Like, God is making it clear to you today that you have to leave. You have to go. And he shouldn't have to push you, because this is something that you waited for. This is something that you warred for. This is something that you prayed for and you toiled for. It's not even something that he should have to push you to do. But sometimes it's necessary. That's why we come on here and he has his mouthpieces speak and give their testimonies, because sometimes we go through seasons where God has to push us out. And sometimes it's a direct mirror. And that's how sometimes it feels heavy for us, even because we go through things so that we can come on here and tell y'all about the things that we go through, because y'all go through stuff too. We all human and we all going through things. But when we share our testimonies and when we share the breakthroughs and the outcomes, it's just like how I left earlier with no provision barely to even book the room. God made sure that specific people sold just enough so that I can have today. And that's okay. It's okay to just have today and not know the tomorrow. Sometimes God needs to remind us, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. The birds still eating. The grass is still being watered. And things are good. Right now is good. Just think about today. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about what's next. Don't think about trying to make a plan. Just go with the flow and go with Holy Spirit. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. God is not a God of chaos, and he's not a God of confusion. So whatever you do, even if God is taking you day by day, stay in your word and stay in worship. And stay in a clear space. Keep your spirit clear from distractions right now. Because right now, God is pouring out revelation. He's pouring out clarity. He's giving direction, but you got to be in the right mind frame to receive it. And this week is I feel like this week is just holy in itself. Like, I feel like there's going to be things being released this week, even if it's just instruction, even if it's just revelation. But even I feel like there's physical things that are going to appear this week that you have to be prepared for. And they're not bad, they're good, but you have to be in position to receive. You have to be in the right mind frame. You have to be in the right place. God is being real strategic right now with the right place, right time thing. Like, even just the conversation that I had earlier when I was waiting in the lobby for a revelation, like just being at the right place at the right time. This lady literally told me that her brother lives in my promised land, like the promised land where God is sending me and my husband. She literally told me her brother stays there and he's an actor. So he's in the movie scene. Like, it was just so prophetic. Everything she told me, she showed me another place where she said that she wanted to move. And me and her share the same birthday month. So I was like, we're both May babies, spring babies. And I was just like, it was just so beautiful how God lined everything up, because it's so important to be in the right place at the right time. Even though I knew that that wasn't where I was staying, it was just prophetic in the conversation in itself. And she even gave me her business card. And then come to find out, she's a realtor. She's a realtor. We had a whole conversation about realtor, you know, like real estate things and all that stuff. Like, even just if it was something that God used as a distraction, as a holy distraction for me to just take my mind off of where I was going next. It still was, I was able to laugh in the conversation. I was able to smile. Like I hadn't did that all day because it had just been a long day. Like been a long morning. The lady at the front desk tried me and I have to, remain calm and give grace. But the thing is, you got to give grace where grace is due. But you also have to remember your boldness and your authority. Don't forget who you are in the moment. Don't forget to walk in your full identity wherever you go. You are a king and you are a queen, woman of God. So if there is a situation where you feel like someone is not meeting that standard, you give grace, but you also correct where correction is due. Because people can't learn without being corrected. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to be anywhere where I'm not respected. And that was another thing where I noticed that in this season specifically for me, God is not tolerating anything less than the standard. We're not accepting bare minimum from anybody. Anybody. You know what I mean? So I feel like for who this word is for, I pray that you received the clarity and your green light to go and to leave. I'm not telling anybody to just go out here and just make moves without God. That's not what I'm telling you. But I feel like who this word is for, you're going to know in your spirit if God has been telling you that you're supposed to have left already. You already going to know in your spirit, like, yeah, this word was for me. I've been procrastinating. Like, you're going to know if you've been procrastinating because God already going to convict your spirit in the holiest way possible. You know what I'm saying? The most gentle, loving way possible, because God is still, he's loving. But he also wants to get this to you because there are things that have to come through you, beloved. There are things that have to come through you. There are things that you have to birth. There are things that he has to release to you. Because you hold the key for somebody else. Him giving you the keys is going to open a door for other people to receive their keys. You know what I'm saying? So take this word back to Abba himself, and I just pray that you receive this in the most loving, gentle way possible, and take this back to him and get more clarity and revelation. Sit with him, sit in worship. If you have to pray and talk and speak in tongues, if you have to sit in silence, do what you got to do so that you can get to where God needs you to be, period. So with all that said and done, I love y'all with the love of Christ, and I will be back when Abba sends me back. If Abba leads you to sow into the ministry, the information is down below. And with all that, y'all, I keep saying the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm just tired. I promise y'all I'm just tired. I'm just tired. But I will see y'all when Abba sends me back. I will be back when, y'all, I'm sorry. I'll be back when he sends me back. Peace out.